Trauma is the leading cause of death of children in our country. Number one is firearms, which now exceeds motor vehicle crashes. Drug overdose has spiked and is now third. But today, I want to talk about the risk of drowning. You've seen the videos, and I'm going to show you a few more, of children who are drowning, but the scene doesn't look anything like you would expect it to look. But first, let's define drowning. Drowning is the process of experiencing respiratory impairment from submersion in a liquid. And while we know that children can drown in 2 inches of water and it takes only a few minutes of suffocation for irreversible damage or death to occur, I want to talk about a more common scenario that affects everyone, which is swimming pool safety. So this is actually footage of a woman who drowned in a full swimming pool with multiple lifeguards on duty, and no one noticed for days. So if we watch the video, we can see the lady comes out of the yellow slide, and then you can see two heads initially, and then she goes under. Just that quickly. She's there, and then she's not there. And the other person swims back towards the slide, and she drowns, and she's dead. No one noticed for days. We often think of drowning as a very grandiose production with splashing water and cries for help, but true drowning victims are typically spending every ounce of energy trying to stay above water and just breathe. Initially, they may have their hands and feet waving, and they may be able to call for help at first, but after about 20 seconds, as their uncoordinated movements cause them to sink down lower into the water, they enter into a state of active drowning. The airway reflexively begins to close, preventing water from entering into the lungs, and at this point, the victim cannot call for help. It is also at this point that the waving hands and arms stop and the kicking stop as the person is just trying to get air. Their head is held back, body is vertical, and it may look like they're trying to climb a ladder under the water. Their eyes are glassy and they are quiet. This is another example of a child in trouble. You can see her sitting on the edge of her floaty there. She flips over into the water. She panics. Her arms and legs are moving for that first part of early drowning. Lifeguard recognizes it, rescues her. Good outcome. Another common scenario is a situation where there are plenty of adults around watching the children at the pool and a child gets in trouble. And you can see in these two videos that the responsive adults are almost immediately there to rescue the drowning child, but a few seconds longer and the outcome would have been much different. You can also imagine that by the time those other children or more distant adults would have noticed and taken action or called for help, the young child would have been in big trouble. So as we dive into summer and our backyard swimming pools, what can we do to try to stay a little safer? Number one, make sure everyone knows how to swim. Number two, hire lifeguards for your family gatherings to add an extra set of eyes, skilled eyes, especially if you're going to have a lot of people over, there are going to be a lot of children over, there's going to be alcohol and distractions. Hiring a lifeguard is an added safety measure. Number three, realize that drowning isn't an extravagant show. It is quick and quiet. And number four, remember, floaties can give weaker, younger swimmers a sense of confidence that they wouldn't otherwise have and can lead to more dangerous activity. Additionally, floaties can hide struggling, drowning children unless they are clear. So be mindful of those tubes, the float beds. They can trap a swimmer underneath and then hide the evidence. And number five, of course, remember the other things like pool gates and covers and fences around the yard.